News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. More information and reaction coming in, though, about the background of the man accused of murdering conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Friends and family of alleged murderer Tyler Robinson say they're shocked. Federal law enforcement and authorities in Utah say the 22-year-old was convinced to surrender by his father. Meantime, in an emotional address from the Turning Point USA headquarters in Phoenix, Erica Kirk, the wife of the late Charlie Kirk, speaking to her slain husband's followers and supporters, standing next to Kirk's empty chair and desk, pledging to continue his message.
My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love.
Kirk was shot and killed while speaking on the campus of Utah Valley University on Wednesday. Utah Governor Spencer Cox urging Americans to tone things down.
We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much.
Investors keeping an eye on the Federal Reserve. It's widely expected to cut interest rates when it wraps up its two-day meeting Wednesday. Blackrock executive Rick Rieder among those saying lately the Fed should cut rates.
You look at job openings, and the area that's held up the job market has been leisure, hospitality, healthcare, and you're seeing those areas soft now. So it's time to move.
We're now hearing Rieder is rising up the list of contenders to serve as the next chair of the Federal Reserve after Jay Powell's term expires next May. An administration official tells Bloomberg Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent interviewed Rieder and was impressed with him. The source says Rieder is one of several contenders being considered for the top central bank job, along with other candidates, including current and former Fed officials Michelle Bowman, James Bullard, and Philip Jefferson. Multiple other names have also been mentioned. A 2021 loan document shows Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook declared an Atlanta home she purchased as a vacation home. That would appear to contradict the Trump administration's claim she committed mortgage fraud. An appeals court currently considering President Trump's effort to fire Cook before the Fed's meeting next week could get rulings on that this weekend. Executive shuffle at Bank of America, B of A naming Dean Athanasia and Jim DeMar, co-presidents, reporting directly to CEO Brian Moynihan. And Bloomberg's Sri Natarajan says any talk about a successor for Brian Moynihan gets a lot of attention because Moynihan has been a major mainstay for years.
Brian Moynihan took over as CEO of Bank of America in January 2010. So for 15 years, Brian Moynihan has been the CEO, and that's why whenever there is talk of a leadership shakeup, especially at the senior ranks, we wonder what message this sends. And we have heard that they have been discussing promotions for their markets heads, Jim DeMar, and also some other leaders that could, at least in our opinion, narrow the slate of potential leaders who could replace Brian Moynihan, who, by the way, has also said he doesn't want to go anywhere till the end of the decade. So he wants a 20-year run atop Bank of America.
Bloomberg Sri Natarajan reporting. Also in the banking industry, Dutch bank ABN AMRO says it's reorganizing risk-related roles across the bank. Changes have been informed to employees in risk management and the process and control department. Still need approvals internally, but there could be job cuts coming down. President Trump had dinner with Qatar's prime minister last night. After that Israeli strike on Hamas leaders in Doha this weekend strained ties between the U.S. and Qatar. President Trump saying he feels badly about the location of the attack. More possible trade talks brewing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will meet with China's Vice Premier He Lifeng in Madrid this coming week to discuss trade, economic issues, and national security as well. And as Bloomberg's Andrew O'Day reports, it could be a sign of a thaw of sorts between the U.S. and China.
The talks could focus on Chinese purchase agreements of U.S. goods in exchange for lower U.S. tariffs. That according to Jeremy Chan, analyst at Eurasia Group. And the discussions will also cover TikTok and anti-money laundering efforts. Washington and Beijing engaged in a flurry of diplomatic talks this past week, igniting speculation about a meeting between President Trump and China's President Xi Jinping. Both are expected to attend a summit in South Korea next month, and the exchanges in Europe could smooth the path for their first face-to-face since 2019. In Washington, Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. This is Bloomberg.